Hello, Sagittarius. This reading is for you. First card out we have is Obscura, aka the Moon in other decks. No, that's probably blurry, but whatevs. And then we have the Four of Wands to further explain that. So those two cards coming out together is giving an energy of somebody that has a vision of a possibility of a celebration in the future, or it could be something that's happening like very soon. It doesn't have to be like all the way like, or like in a future that may or may not ever come to fruition. It may be something that's actively being in the works, but like somebody has a vision, but their vision is colored by being able to see through the veil and see through the BS and the airs that people put up. But I think most importantly, they're concerned about one other person. I would say it's probably their partner. And this celebration could be talking about marriage. Could be talking about setting a foundation for something to build upon. So it could be marriage, it could be starting a family, it could be starting a new business. However, I do get the sense that this is more than just business if business is involved. So then we have the Queen of Swords in the reverse. And to further explain that is Counterpoint, which is the Lovers in other decks. This particular one is described as the Fighters. We got the Archer and the Swordsman. Complementary skills. They both are needed in a battle, at least how battles were fought back in the day. Archers were the long range killers, while the swordsmen were the up close and personal killers. You needed both to win the battle. But with the Queen of Swords here in the reverse, it's really talking about like I'm hearing counterintuitive, like counteractive, like not like, I feel like the idea is to function like this, to function like a team. But one of the players, and I'm going to go out on the limb and say it's the swordsman, because literally one is a swordsman and one is an archer, which both have energy of air. But then we have the Queen of Swords here in the reverse, and the Queen of Swords in the reverse is very negative, biased, a bitch, like impulsive, just wants to be right even if they're wrong and they know they're wrong. And I get like an air of immaturity, because somebody that's mature, especially when it comes to relationships that matters, if you're wrong and you know you're wrong, at some point you have to be willing to like come clean with that and be like, I know I was wrong, my bad. Or whatever excuses you want to try and come up with to justify it, because I feel like that's what the Queen of Swords would do. They would try to justify their actions. And I feel like it doesn't have to be this way. Like, you guys, at least I feel like before, have like worked together flawlessly, and that's why you felt you have come together on this venture, whatever it is. But there's like complications, and I feel like it's kind of one-sided. It's like one person is being really selfish and self-centered, while the other person, because of that, is withdrawing and like playing more of an observatory role and being more indifferent, because otherwise they would just add to the chaos that's already happening from this negative energy from this Queen of Swords in the reverse. So the next cards out we have is the King of Wands. And to further explain that is the Alchemist, which is the High Priestess in other decks. So I feel like this Queen of Swords in the reverse with the counterpoint, with the two fighters, the archer and the swordsman or swordswoman, whatever. It's like this bitch energy is coming because they had a vision that this is how it was gonna work. Like, this is how you guys were gonna be, but it's not panning out that way, and they're mad about it, and they're just like lashing out about not getting the outcome that they thought that they were gonna get. Again, being immature. While here we have the King of Swords with the Alchemist, aka the High Priestess, which is almost like a balance of well, it's a balance of being humble and then knowing like your strengths and what you excel in, but at either end, like being incredibly intuitive, incredibly creative, and always seeking knowledge and mastery and insights and epiphanies, while leading in a way that's like very entrepreneurial and well, fiery and creative, but like being really passionate about what it is that they're doing, and understanding that they are a leader and that they have people depending on them and have people looking up to them, and they have to carry themselves a certain way to respect those people that are putting their trust and security in their hands. So it's like this very like immature energy with this very mature energy. That's what I'm getting here. And the ultimate goal is to come together, because I think that you guys are together, but you're having this conflict because it's becoming, the divide is becoming like the honeymoon stage is over. Again, if this is a romantic relationship, the newness of the relationship is not there. You're at the point where like you're both nitpicking at each other and both seeing the flaws more than the complementary in each other. And I think it's like pushing you guys apart a little bit. So I pulled some cards here to further explain. So we got the Ten of Cups coming out here to further explain the Moon card here with the Four of Wands. So right away, this really makes me feel like this is definitely talking about a family coming, like two families coming together, some type of unity, some type of marriage, some type of celebration. And with the Ten of Cups being here, it's like, well, first off, it's the end of a cycle. It's something coming to an end, but when something ends, something new begins. And I think the thing that's beginning is the part that's really being troublesome to the two of you. Because something is changing within your guys' dynamic, and you're trying to adjust and make room for those changes on both ends, on both parties' ends. But change always brings periods of adjustment, and you know, that's not normally where you are graceful. That's where you're awkward and maybe you might have regret in how you interacted or overreacted or underreacted, whatever. So the next card out here we have is Ovation in the reverse, which in other decks, it's the Sun card. So that's on top of the Counterpoint, which is the Lover's card, and the Queen of Swords in the reverse. And the Sun card's in the reverse here. So this is not good. Not good on either end for either party. Feeling constricted, feeling judged, feeling you know, you had good intentions, but whatever this is talking about here, whoever is experiencing these feelings, they had good intentions, but now they're feeling judged and they still want to be a team player, but like they don't know how. And they feel like really heavy and burdened. I'm just getting the sense of they feel heavy and burdened because they're not willing to admit that they're wrong, because they just want to be right no matter what, even to their own detriment, which is what I'm feeling here. And then to further explain the King of Wands with the Alchemist, aka the High Priestess, we have what is this? The Knight of Wands, but it's in the reverse. So I feel like this is the other party, where one party feels jaded and judged and mad, but like really all they have to do is admit they were wrong, but they don't want to. The other party is starting to lose their passion, starting to withdraw, starting to just focus on like the things that are working in their life. And again, I feel like a lot of people depend on them, so they don't have the luxury to like compartmentalize, or excuse me, they don't have the luxury of just like having their feelings all out and about willy-nilly like this other energy with this negativity. They're forced to compartmentalize and forced to like pick a role, pick a lane, and stay in it, not only for their own sanity, but for like what they've already built and what they're trying to continue to build, and because they see what others don't, specifically what this other energy in this party doesn't see. And they don't want to let it go, but they're not going to drag themselves down to that other person's level to make that person feel better. So if they're going to be the one that's judged, whatever, that's not anything they're not used to. They're really stepping back and really just deciding where they're going to go from here. I feel like that might be you, Sagittarius. I don't think you're this negative Nancy person. I feel like this is like your partner or like somebody in your family, maybe even a child. That you're just trying to figure out like where to go from here. You're just kind of going through the motions and doing the things you're supposed to do and seeing how it unfolds. And you know what? The cards don't even really fucking say how it unfolds. It's just like talking about this whole fucking situation and not really giving any Any outcomes? Well, the outcomes is that there's definitely an ending happening. And the ending is going to be like a coming of age thing. And that doesn't mean that like the person that's immature will be mature, because like there's always cycles in life. There's always new things to learn, and that's the High Priestess here is a testament to that. The High Priestess is always looking to learn, always looking to expand, always looking to grow, and that card specifically came out. So it's not about like one person being right and one person being wrong. It's just like about moving on. That's what I'm feeling like. And it's not that it's like bad or good. It's just like time. And I also think that it's going to end up being more stable in the future. And also this negative energy here, especially with the Sun card coming out in the reverse, it's like they're going to see the error in their ways, and they're going to learn from this experience as well and move forward. It may be a bit of a rockier time for them, but that's what happens when you come from a place of negativity. And then in the end, I think it's just like really stepping into your power, stepping into your true abilities, and getting back to the things that are important to you, even if that means that you're choosing to be by yourself. Again, this doesn't, whether it be romantically or maybe like if you're a parent and your kid's moving out, like the end all be all of the situation is that both parties are going to find themselves exactly where they need to be when they need to be, as it always ends up being, because free will is just your higher self's plan. So I just kind of feel like you're going through it, and that it will end up being okay. But I think that there is going to be a split, that you guys are gonna end up going in different directions. That doesn't mean that you guys won't have anything to do with each other going forward. I just feel like your goals are different now. Even though they might still include each other, it's time to consider other possibilities. So that is the reading that I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope that resonated. I hope that was helpful. And thanks so much for tuning in to my content. All right, thanks. Bye.